And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock God Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, are we going to have a fun show for you today? Captain Frank LoPreste from the Royal Polaris is going to be joining us. It's just me and Corey today. We're going to be having fun. Corey Sandin from MC Swim Baits, myself in the studio, talking fishing with you. Pete Gray is down at the East Cape at beautiful Palmas de Cortez for our annual Let's Talk Hookup Fun Tournament. Going to be a great time. Going to be a great show here today with Captain Frank, fresh off the Royal Polaris. They just came back yesterday, and we got a lot to talk about. The bluefin are biting again. It's happening. You stay tuned. Going to be a great show. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Get ready for the largest event in our history. Saturday, November 3rd, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Hi, this is Doug Kern, and we will have great savings from Daiwa on Lexus, Saltist, and Saltiga reels. Fantastic offers on the Proteus wind grip rods, too. Plus, Daiwa will offer a free gift with purchase. Over 20 manufacturers reps, including Daiwa. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, huge raffle, and most of all, incredible deals on tackle. Up to 60% off. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 3rd. Check fishermanslanding.com.
Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk Hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
A few years ago, Shimano introduced the Tranx 500 reel, and it changed the way we cast for big fish. Now, by popular demand, Shimano has created two new sizes. Introducing the Tranx 300 and 400, available now at your local Shimano dealer. Tranx is the dream reel for throwing big baits and catching big fish. X-Ship and HEG technologies combine to provide massive cranking power with a smooth, effortless retrieve. Plus, Shimano's new Core Protect water-resistant technology provides long-lasting durability in the harshest environment. The new Tranx 300 and 400 are available in 2 gear ratios and 2 different handle designs to cover all fresh and saltwater applications. See the new Tranx 300 and 400 at your local Shimano dealer. Tranx, it's not just a new reel, it's a way to fish. Check Shimano.com for all the details.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Morning, Corey.
Hey, good morning, Rick, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a unique show. Frank's just a little bit late. I'm sure he'll be joining us real soon, but fresh off the boat as of yesterday, so I'm sure a lot of scheduling things. But we're waiting for Frank to slide in, but in the meantime, you're stuck with me and Corey this morning.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, right?
No, that's for sure.
Lots of good fishing, man. We had, it's kind of crazy, Rick, with this rain that we had. Total tropical southerly deal, and all of Southern California getting wet. The tuna bite's still going on. Full-day trips are getting them, man.
You're right, man. It's a very strange, cool, different weather pattern. I hate the rain. I am a summertime. I want sunshine and nice weather and biting yellowtail on the surface iron year-round, period. But if we're going to get rain, I can handle it like this. It was relatively nice most all of the day. The drive home started getting gray. It opened up and poured a bunch last night, and then the drive in this morning was dry again. If I have to deal with rain,
that's a good way to deal with it.
I can I guess deal with that for sure.
And then to still have the tuna biting, and man, the bluefin or if you go that direction, they're getting them, and
it's a cool time fishing-wise, and it's really cool down at the landing. What's really fun is being at the tackle store and watching it go down, Like you're saying, if you go out to the west and fish, in the vicinity of San Clemente Island, there's really nice grade, it's almost not fair to call them medium-sized bluefin because they're not. They're really big ones, but in comparison to the 250-pounders we were catching earlier this year, they're just kind of mediums,
Yeah, you take away the jumbo cows, right?
Yeah, they're like 40 to 90-pounders.
Are you kidding me?
But that's just medium when you're compared to these giants. But really good fishing for those if you get the right school. Live bait fishing with sardine, and kind of back to what bluefin fishing always was. You see them rolling around. They stick with the boat a long time. They don't want to bite. You got to fish a good bait, and you got to fish lighter line than you'd like to. But you got shots at big ones, and it seems like most of those fish are biting on 30-pound, 40-pound. 40-pound and a 2-speed, you can really handle a bigger fish. 30-pound, you're starting to get touchy. Guys are get frustrated and drop down to 25. Then they hook a 90 and they pull on it for 2 hours and it goes away. It's that typical kind of crazy bluefin thing,
So crazy, and here we are talking about this, Rick, and it's mid-October.
Yeah.
Mid-October, full-day yellowfin, Dorado, yellowtail, overnight bluefin,
that's the cool other component to it is if you go west, you have a shot at those giants, and if you go south, you got really good yellowfin fishing. You nailed it. There was really good Dorado fishing to be had again this week. Yellowtail and Dorado kind of made their way back into the counts, and it seems as if there's two size classes of that yellowfin down there as well. Still that smaller, football grade of fish is there and biting and fun and bites the popper and the Colt Sniper, but there's definitely been a really nice grade of fish on dolphin schools as well that fish is like a 25-pound average. So it's just, It's good times.
That does sound like good times.
Words of my buddy
sure.
Corey, it's good
times.
times.
Right? Nothing but good times.
So yeah, it's fun. It's fun fishing. There's a lot of fish around. There's a lot of opportunity around. There's opportunities at good fish. And the best part about October is the loads. I mean, it's just you say what you want. The weather usually gets the nicest. The fish are usually bigger and more available, and the loads are lighter. And you can't. I always joke, if you had the caliber of fishing that we have in October, if you had that in May, oh my God, it would be lights out bonanza. Every boat would be full no matter what. But things just start to slow. It's like the locals' summertime.
And with all that you're saying, Rick, and then you take the fact we're going to have Santa Ana conditions this coming week, starting literally on Monday. Man, when that comes this time of the year, mixed with the fishing, and for a small boater like ourselves to be able to run offshore with an easterly wind, are you kidding me? Lay the ocean down flat as can be.
That's the ticket, man. I know, the things near and dear to your heart, calico bass fishing, these are the times when you can really stretch out and get somewhere, in boats that are appropriate like ours, smaller boats. This is the time when you can make that run out to Clemente or make that run to Catalina or make that run down the coast and
not have the threat of weather coming on you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And just it's the right time. If you got a 21-foot boat that you love bass fishing, and maybe this is the week that you stretch your legs and you make that run out to Clemente.
It is. I know the guys do it all spring and summer. Run out to Clemente from Long Beach, Dana Point, San Diego, Oceanside, or whatever. But man, when you try to do that through the summer and all, and you get that westerly, and you get your your rear end handed to you.
Let me tell you, that's been on our boat, which we're we have a great boat for it. We have our 25-foot Parker center console. I mean, it's a great boat for it. But let me tell you, 80 miles through the not greatest weather in the world will
let you know it was 80 miles.
No doubt it will, for sure. I remember when we first got our boat and we were fishing bluefins, and it was when it was all in the 43, and the 43 it's still a plenty long ways to go in a small boat, and you get out there and you fish and you catch your fish, and man, it's a long way home. Now the 43 is like the halfway point to where we were going. And
isn't that crazy?
You're traveling home, and you're like, all right, I'm about ready to be to Mission Bay by now. And you look down at your watch, and you realize that you're only to the 43, and you still got double that distance again to go.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
But pretty darn fun. Speaking of calico bass fishing, that's one thing that I think I'd love to pick your brain about. You always hear about the crazy good fishing at Catalina and Clemente. Like, those are the spots. Those are like the long-distance spots that guys travel to. I know that you have done a ton of fishing up and down the coast. I almost never hear any more of guys making that same distance but going down the beach and fishing the Baja coastal calico bass. Does that fishery still exist? Do you think it's as good as it was? I mean,
it's really good, actually. With everything that's gone on, people are afraid of it, whatever. So
sure.
You still do get people to go and do it. And all the trips I made really down Ensenada or a little bit below were all from San Diego based, really. And I'd leave from Shelter Island, and there were times where I'd actually sleep on the boat overnight and fish the next day and come home. So it's totally doable and easy. There's some phenomenal fishing down there, as you know. I mean, that just as good as it gets, really.
That was kind of my thought. It's so common for a guy to leave Dana Point and make a 60-mile run to the west and fish the island, but you so rarely hear of a guy making a 60-mile run down the coast, and you're fishing areas that just so rarely get fished for calico bass fishing. I mean, there's great kelp bed, smaller kelp beds all the way up and down the beach, and hard bottom areas and islands and I've fished all those little areas of kelp, from just below the border, and I've done it like that, where I just go along and fish them. Yeah.
And
there's some. Let's try that.
Yeah, exactly. And you go for a while without some bites, and then you get on a little patch. It's just like, oh my God, where'd this come from?
Cool.
Kind of thing. But you wouldn't think, like running down the coast and trying to come back home into the weather.
Sure.
Isn't as bad as you would think, because it might be blowing 12 or whatever, like off the beach and a little nasty. But that 1.5 miles, 2 miles closer to the beach, it's actually a little bit nicer than it would be 5 miles off the beach. You follow me?
South versus west are two different worlds as far as weather goes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Where the Clemente thing is as long as you can get out there, and the trips, I did it from Long Beach. I've done it from Dana Point. I've done it from Oceanside. I've done it from Mission Bay. And honestly, Mission Bay is the most comfortable deal.
Just as far as direction goes.
It is, because if you're leaving early enough, it's going to be hopefully calm enough for you to get out there, right?
You're going to blaze over.
No matter what direction the weather comes from, if it's a northwesterly or a southwesterly, you're coming home with it.
Yeah, that is definitely the nice part about coming home from there, is you got it on your back.
You do. Yeah, you're kind of surfing with it,
That makes a big difference.
A lot of fun, for sure.
The other nice thing, you were talking about how good this tuna fishing has been this year. The other really nice thing is our bait opportunity. And the bait's been really good. The bait this year has been on the smaller side, but smaller and strong and healthy. And, this year we've just kind of recently seen the transition of, we still have that small sardine, which is great for chum, but, we were over at San Diego Bay getting bait earlier this week, and there was a good mix of that smaller bait plus good hook size, and those guys, no matter what the demand seems to be, Everingham Brothers seems to just fight their way through it, because it was just, yet again, here we go this year, another huge year of fishing all season long, and
keeping it plentiful.
Yeah, our bait was just killer. All year long, we never had the lack, we never had the loss, we never had the big die-offs. It was just, they just killed it again.
And those guys work hard, Rick, honestly. I've talked about it on air a number of times, and man, they... you take like a sport boat that they're providing, and the sport boat typically will have crew that, jumps in, works. They might work a week or two straight, but then they take a few days off. And dude, on the bait boat, I can tell you that we started in May, And by June 1, we were working every day all the way through September. We were very fortunate to get the dove opener off September 1.
That's cool.
After starting, late May, early June, every single day.
Yeah, working your butt off.
And not knowing. I mean, I think the most difficult thing for me at that point was not knowing when you're coming home. Yeah. Like, you're leaving the dock.
Yeah.
It's not a full-day trip. It's not an overnight trip because you would know when you're coming home, right?
Yeah, it's going until you get it.
And some of the memorable trips were actually like right after I first started, we made like a 5-day trip.
Come on.
Seriously.
Really? I didn't know that.
Seriously. We could not catch bait. We were all the way up to San Pedro.
What?
Out to Catalina, out to Clemente. Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
I had no idea.
And the reason I remember this is I was the only one that had cash money in my pocket.
Okay.
Listen to the story. It's so funny. The whole crew.
Yeah.
I had cash money. It was early in the year. It was Cinco de Mayo. And the reason I remember, I got to get off at Catalina. We took the net skiff and used that as our
shore boat
for groceries. Yeah. For groceries, yeah. Yeah, we needed to get off and get some groceries at Catalina.
Send the new guy in to go buy some more food and beer.
Exactly.
That's
well,
cool.
not quite beer, but yeah, food and stuff. But man, that's definitely some memorable trips, and those guys worked their tail off. And seriously, I've said it on here before. When you pull up and you pay $40 or $50 for bait, man, you don't realize what went in to getting that scoop of bait. You know, and you can go catch your own. You can.
Sure.
It's actually easy if it's there, right?
Right.
You can go jig your own.
Yeah.
But is it going to take you a half hour? Is it going to take you an hour?
Totally.
Are you not going to catch any at all?
Yeah, exactly. And how much time are you going to commit to it?
Or do you just pull up and pay $50?
Oh, every time. Absolutely every time. And I liked one thing that Tim Ekstrom said the last time he was on here is there's not a better bait in the world to catch a tuna than a sardine. He said, you give me anything, tank of mackerel, if I could have my choice and snap my finger and my bait tank would be full of whatever it was, there's nothing better than a sardine, no matter whether you're 20 miles from home or 1,000 miles from home.
Right. And I remember him saying that. We were talking about Spanish mackerel.
Yeah,
we were talking about other stuff. And mackerel, too. I mean, the greenbacks work great.
Sure.
But how many can you put in your tank unless they're only 7-inch, you know?
Yep, no doubt. Well, as you can hear, we're going to have a fun show. Frank LoPreste is on the way. We just got a little message from me and Kathy. They're standing by, heading their way, like I said, fresh off the boat. So we'll look forward to hearing what's going on with the Royal Polaris and all that fun stuff. And Corey and I are here for you, too, man. It's going to be a great show. We'd love to answer any questions you have, whether it be regarding MC swim baits or tackle or any type of fishing. Same deal. We're standing by and love to hear from you, and we want to talk to you.
I know something exciting coming up is Tackle Days, November 3rd.
Big time, man. That is like my world right now at the tackle store.
Right.
Is us getting ready for tackle days. We got a huge seminar schedule. We'll get to kind of announce some of that and lots of fun. And man, in addition to taking your phone calls, we're also giving away a really great prize today.
I dig it. I mean, I want to go do this. I want to fish with Taro on the Liberty, a full-day trip. And so anybody that calls in, you're in the hat. And we've even had callers that have not made it to air and actually won. So give us a shout, 877-792-1090, 858-457-1090. You'll have your shot at a full-day trip out of Fisherman's Landing with Taro on the Liberty.
It's going to be a great time, man. There's good fishing to be had right now. Those guys have been doing awesome, and it's going to be a really, really fun day and a fun trip. So, again, one lucky caller at the end of the show today, you're going to win that full-day trip going fishing aboard the Liberty. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 58 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built by fishermen for fishermen. From our next-generation waterproof shorts like Tactical or Stealth to our new anhydrous waterproof jacket and bibs, the entire AFCO clothing line is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and features designed to deliver for the demanding angler. To find AFCO products, go to AFCO.com and find a dealer near you.
This is Captain Art Taylor of Searcher Sport Fishing. Come join our seasoned crew led by Captain Aaron, Remy, and me on a fishing adventure to remember. Our 2018 schedule is available now with multi-day trips to fit your budget. The Searcher has remodeled cabins, an RSW system to preserve your catch, and great meals prepared by our chefs. Don't wait. Book your adventure online now at SearcherSportFishing.com or call Celia at 619-226-2403. That's 619-226-2403. Visit SearcherSportFishing.com.
I got a garage full of fishing tackle, and every time I get out on the water, I realize I forgot something important. But I never forget my life jacket. I make sure my buddies wear theirs, too. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
There is an undisclosed paradise waiting for you in your own backyard. It's the La Misión Hotel in beautiful Loreto, Baja California. Experience one of the few towns that has truly kept the spirit of old Baja, combined with the luxury of a 5-star hotel. Old mission traditions, authentic lifestyle, and a wealth of Mexican culture still lives at the La Misión Hotel. Situated on the water and just steps from the harbor, take advantage of the fantastic fishing and natural beauty of the Sea of Cortez and the islands of Loreto. Loreto has long been known as the Dorado capital of the world, but huge tuna, wahoo, marlin, yellowtail, and pargo are abundant too. La Misión Hotel can set up affordable fishing trips, dive packages, and family fun adventures to enjoy the rich natural abundance of Loreto. La Misión also has a fantastic spa, fine dining at Los Olivos restaurant, and the famous pizza grill will amaze and stimulate your palate. Relax, fish, and enjoy the beauty and adventure of Loreto at the La Misión Hotel. Fishing and other very affordable packages are available. Once you go, you're hooked. Check LaMisionLoreto.com for details. La Misión, the beauty and fun of Loreto is waiting for you.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader.
The home of ESPN Radio.
The mighty 1090.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Nothing but good times here, Rick, this morning.
You got that right, buddy. Well, hey, speaking of good times, want to give you a heads up on a really good time that's coming up that we have for you. It's a really cool live remote. It's one of the best ones that I think that we do of the year. It's a lot of fun, and that's at the brand newly remodeled Kona Kai Resort on Shelter Island in San Diego. It's October the 20th, so coming up real soon here. We're going to be doing a live broadcast from the lawn above the brand-new Paloma Pool and Bar right next to the marina. There's going to be free breakfast, free mimosas and Bloody Marys available, too. You're going to win some great prizes, too. We're going to be giving away a brand-new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. We'll have room nights at the Kona Kai Resort, spa treatments, and much, much more. So stay tuned. You got to join us, man. It's a really, really fun event. It's at the Kona Kai Resort, again, at the end of the Shelter Island in San Diego. It's a fun 2-hour live remote broadcast. When you enter the resort, we'll be just past the fountain. Again, it's Saturday, October the 20th from 7 to 9. Come join in. Free breakfast, free food, free prizes, and lots of fun at what is undoubtedly the nicest spot in San Diego.
Oh, are you kidding? Most awesome spot, but it's like the furthest south that you can get in San Diego, and keep your boat and closest to the fishing grounds by far.
Yep, closest to bait. You got fuel right there. It's just a great opportunity and a cool spot, and what a nice facility to be at. And those guys, I highly encourage you to come down because they really do. They really roll out the red carpet for us when we come, and the breakfast is amazing, and they're, like I said, Bloody Marys and mimosas if you want to have. It's a really fun time and a great location.
And here's some of the raffle prizes: overnight stays and
Maui Jims.
Are you kidding me?
We'll take some of that.
Like hello, and the feed you free breakfast on top of it with mimosas.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I can think about 100 of my best friends would be down there.
Exactly. Well, Corey, while we're waiting for Frank, who'll be here momentarily, why don't we hop in and grab a couple of phone calls?
Well, let's do that. How about we take a Doug from Montebello? Good morning, Doug. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup this morning.
Hi, Doug.
Hi. On those wahoo jigs with those big hooks on the end, will anything else hit those jigs besides a wahoo?
Are you talking the trolling jigs or the casting jigs, Doug?
The casting jigs.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's plenty common for sure. You're probably talking like a 6X Junior style jig that traditionally has a treble hook, but commonly for Wahoo see them with the big single.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you're fishing kelp, sometimes they can be nuisance. If you're fishing your Wahoo on kelps, that time of year in the fall when the water's warm down the Baja coast, some of those kelps that hold the Wahoo can also be pretty darn corroded with Dorado, which, don't get me wrong, it's a fun bycatch to have, but at times it can be difficult to keep the Dorado off of your jig. When you're trying to target a Wahoo, sometimes so much that, we've been on trips where they tell you, you really can't throw the jig because the Dorado are going to eat it. And, it becomes a dangerous thing when you got 4 or 5 of those things hooked jumping around and throwing a heavy jig. And, they'll encourage you to maybe try a bomb, which is slightly less likely to hook a Dorado. But if they're real ravenous, they're going to bite everything. So I'm sure there's been lots of bycatches made. And, and that's on kelps. And when you're fishing some of those spots on the ridge, some of those high spots like the 23s and things like that, you're on an anchored position where you could potentially catch a Wahoo on the surface, a yellowtail on the surface, a yellowtail on the bottom, tuna cruising through. I mean, you throw a jig out there, you're liable to hook anything this time of year on those fall trips.
That's crazy. A lot of I've heard of too, Rick, that you didn't mention are marlin. Yeah, even on the troll jigs, but even on the casting jigs too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which sounds crazy for local stuff.
Yeah.
But down on the ridge and where you're talking, it's pretty prolific.
One of those things where it's like the coolest thing you could ever do up here, and you just transfer yourself south 500 miles, and everybody's, it's a marlin, get that thing out of here.
Right.
But yeah, Doug, there, one of those things, you're in those grounds. The single hook definitely, I would say, does not detract from other fish eating it. For tuna and Wahoo, you get a bigger bite, and it's a good hook to have. Yellowtail and things like that, you're probably better off with a treble hook, so. All good. Did that answer your question for you, Doug?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, buddy. Appreciate the phone call.
Oh, our good friend Doug from Montebello. He's always got a good one, Rick. And we'll jump back into it. Let's take one from Rob. Rob's calling from Carlsbad. And welcome to the show. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
What's up, Rob?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have an interesting question. I fish on the Liberty, and I try to go midweek when the crowds are the lowest.
Sure.
That being said, one time I was on there and there was 18 people. I was on there Thursday and there was 38 people. The yellowfin fishing was really good. They caught in the upper 100s.
Nice.
But I wasn't able to get one because I wasn't able to get myself on position of the back of the boat to get there. Now, the problem is that there's such a melee going on with people at the bait tank, people trying to get their, line over the rail, that not everybody on the boat can fish it. I was wondering if you guys had any type of suggestion for the etiquette or how to conduct yourself on there so that the fishing can be a little more equal. And then the second part to my question is, are there other modes of transportation to get out to the fishing grounds that aren't readily advertised or available? Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Great question, Rob.
Yeah, it's all good, Rob. A lot of people don't realize, that sport boats will drift stern first. And by the boat drifting stern first, it's going to be moving a direction, number one, Rob. And if you remember, the guys throwing chum, if they really know what they're doing, they're trying to bring the fish up to the corner so the guys can make a fresh cast, and then everybody rotates, let's say, to the left. And so you want to get in on that corner on the right, or it might be on the port side, it might be on the starboard side, but start on your right and work your way to the left. And you'll notice a rotation going on like that. And the other thing, number two, is with the boat drifting stern first, if the boat's been on a stop for 10 minutes or longer, the fish...
One would assume with a score like that, they're talking to being in the upper hundreds.
Yeah,
usually stops to last a while.
Yeah, they were on a bite for a while. A lot of that fish will get up on the bow, and nobody will know it. There might be one or two guys on it, but by the time they're hooked up, they're fighting the fish off the stern. And you could take it from there, Rick. But, Rob, just keep those things in mind. And the etiquette part is just watching what's going on and not jumping in the middle of the line. And, you have 30 of your best buddies, but a little bit of organization with getting your cast in on the right and working to the left, and you'll see how everything's working like that.
I'll tell you another one that Corey's always too humble to mention, but it is the case, and it's back to the albacore days,
Yes.
and that's fishing with a 5-inch MC swim bait and an 1.5 ounce lead head. And what you can do is you can bypass the bait line, and if that's the part that if that kind of everybody jamming in trying to grab a bait is the part that is the more negative for you, then just don't worry about it, because those things will bite a 5-inch swim bait on a 1 ounce lead head. Awesome. And you can just hang out at the rail with your cup of coffee, BSing with a buddy, and as soon as one of those trollers goes off, cast your MC swim bait 90 degrees out and let that thing sink back, and you would be amazed at how many times you'll get bit right away while that lure's sinking back through the jigs. I mean, those fish are up looking for baits. The chum's going over. They're trying to eat everything there, and boom, there goes your swim bait rolling right by.
And Rick, the same thing will work with a cold sniper or anything else, but you said something real key and kind of glazed over real quick is the casting 90 degrees, because if you try to let that straight down or in your mind you want to cast out where the fish just bit the jig, right? Completely wrong, because you're going to end up in a macrame tangled mess, and somebody's going to get burnt off. So by casting 90 degrees, you're staying clean of the trolling gear, and hopefully they can get that in as quick as you can. By casting 90 degrees, you're staying clean, you're still getting a hookup, and you're clean off on your own angle and fighting your fish. The troll fish is fighting on their own end, and everybody's clean that way.
I mean, the craziness of tuna fishing is half of the draw, and I get it. When it's when there's
chaotic.
a lot of people and craziness, that's part of it, and that's honestly, it's kind of part of the fun also. But a couple things. One, being able to bypass worrying about the bait might be a difference for you. If it is a bait fishing thing and you need to, well, then keep that in mind also. If you're on a day where the stops are coming fairly close, then keep in mind that is the thing that you want to do. So have your bait tied on, have your hook tied on, have your hook in your hand. When the bait does come, don't be in the galley wanting to, push your way through everybody. Be standing, near that bait tank and, have that bait ready to go and pick one up very calm and flip it out over the side. And, just to have your plan of attack, I think, before the craziness happens will help
before
navigate
the mayhem.
through the trap. Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing during a stop too, Rick, is the boat will drift downwind, right? And it's really tough to cast a bait, downwind and kind of get your bite going that way. Although you're kind of 45 in it as the guy's throwing chum and getting the fish on that corner, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can throw your cold sniper or, like you were saying, a swim bait downwind, you can sail that thing a mile right downwind, and
totally.
A lot of times you're on your own on that side of the boat. There might only be a couple guys doing that kind of scenario, whether it's a heavy jig, cold sniper, or throwing a lead-headed swim bait. And by doing that, you're kind of clean. You might have 30 other guys on the other side of the boat, with the wind in their face, which is the quote-unquote traditional way, keep the wind in your face, but. Yeah, I mean,
you can fish opposite drift all by yourself throwing that Colt sniper or something.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I'm getting. So, Rob, I mean, you can kind of keep all those things in mind, and it's not necessarily etiquette. It's just knowing, like Rick said, setting yourself up before the mayhem happens to set yourself up for best position.
For sure.
What size and what color of swim bait are you suggesting?
It's funny because some guys get bit on anchovy, green, I mean, it's all reactionary. It truly is. And Barry made very popular the Channel Island Chovy. It's a black back, blue lateral line, and kind of a greenish bottom, clear flake. And that one will work. The sardine patterns work. It's just any kind of bait fish pattern, really.
I doubt that a tuna that's hungry, that's charging around eating sardines, is going to steer away from anything. With that said, it's like the Mexican flag syndrome. Like, what feather gets bit best? Well, the Mexican flag, because you're always trolling that. It's the same as a glow, flat fall, and anything else. But I got to admit, I'd be right part of that problem. I'm always fishing a 5-inch MC in that Channel Island Chovy color. One thing, too, if you are tuna fishing with them and the tuna get of size is, you want to use a lead head with a fairly stout hook, too. Not all lead heads are created equal. And so, when tuna fishing, you've got a lot of forces, the boat, a lot of times, Rob, you're bit with that method very fast, amongst while the boat is still sliding forward and fish going one way, boat going the other. You want to use something that's got a fairly stout hook.
Do you guys, Rick, at Fisherman still have the Tuna Tough?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Rob, the Tuna Tough lead head is one made by Leadmaster, and it's got a heavy duty cadmium hook that you can fish on 40 or 50 pound. 50 pounds pretty heavy, but 40-pound mono. And you will not open that hookup, I promise you. So just jump into Fisherman's. I know Seaforth has them. I don't know if Dana on Mission Bay, but a lot of the landings that have that style of stuff, Rob, are going to have the tuna tough lead head.
When we're albacore fishing, Rob, that method overwhelmingly is like the most popular, and it'll work just great for yellowfin too. So it might be something to try, and just another fun way to catch them, if anything else.
And outside of the sport boat, Rob. If you have your own private boat, it's a great way to spend $20 on plastics, and really you can carry them from trip to trip to trip through the year. And there's times where that's going to save you, where you've ran out of bait, or that's where you're slow trolling or whatever means you have. It's like having an extra scoop of bait on the boat that you can carry from trip to trip to trip.
Totally. And also to answer the last part of your question about other means and ways to do it, then it just goes to the private charter route. And there's a lot of great private charter operations out there. I know Dana Landing has the Blackjack, which is a 4-pack boat, which if you get 3 of your buddies together with you, it's a relatively inexpensive way to go do it. And then it's just the 4 of you guys. The other things that have become popular are like the smaller charter boats, like Brandon Hayward with Bite Sport Fishing, where they take a smaller private boat out with just 3 other anglers. So there are definitely other means of doing so. As you obviously know, the cost does increase when there's more people, but you get 3 buds together and all split the cost. Pardon me. The opportunity increases and the cost decreases.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That was very informational. I really appreciate the show, and I appreciate both of your time. Thank you.
Hey, Rob, it's our pleasure, buddy. I think you're on the right path. And I'll tell you one thing: if you're able to fish during the week, which clearly you mentioned you are, that helps a bunch too. And it's part of it. And the thing you got here from here on out is we've got good weather in front of us. There is great fishing that's going on right now, and the loads are all decreasing.
I mean, you're hitting on the head. Like we were talking about earlier, Santa Ana conditions coming up this week. Boog on the San Diego had an awesome count. I think Taro did too yesterday, day before, both. And with those counts and the fish still around, this wasn't like a big northerly storm that came in and rolled conditions and it changed things completely. This was a southern tropical condition kind of rain event that's going to do nothing but make it better.
I agree. Yeah, the fishing was already great all this week. This is just we got a little wind and a little rain, and we'll get right back to getting those things.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Nothing but good stuff. And Rick, we just had some good friends join us in studio.
Hey, Frank, Kathy, good morning. We're certainly happy to have you guys in, fresh off the boat. I know just got back yesterday, right? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we were hanging out, talking fishing, and BSing. We are all good here. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
We're certainly
happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you here. Lots going on, and like I said, you no fresher report than being off the boat, less than 24 hours ago.
Well, and I finished up my trip just about, I would say 90, now call it 100 miles from the point.
Okay. So
and
local
that fish is right, not too far off the beach. I think we're going to have some very, very good Dorado fishing coming up.
Really?
Both myself and Sean on the Searcher had good Dorado fishing. He got in there after I did and had more time than I was on a rush schedule because I had to get into Ensenada.
Because of Guadalupe.
To clear.
Okay.
But we had very good fishing there for a couple of hours, and he came in later and got what he needed.
That's great news.
So there's plenty of Dorado coming up. There's a lot of that yellowfin tuna down there, 100, 120, 140 miles.
That's great.
So with that storm that we just had and the warm water still pushing up, I think we're going to have some.
Isn't that crazy?
I think we're going to have fishing all the way to the end of October for sure. It just all depends when we get a big northwest blow.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Mid-October, and we just had Sergio push into Central Baja and kind of, like you're laying out the conditions. It's weather pushing them up. Water's just a couple degrees warmer. And
absolutely. And Corey, the day before, we had some unbelievable calico fishing there at Santa Rosalia.
Now we're talking. And
I mean, watching people throw back 4 and 5 pound calicos is kind of fun.
It's so beautiful. Awesome. And we were talking earlier about skiff fishing and down the beach and stuff. And I didn't mention, but the Shogun mid-June of 2019, we have the MC Swimbait Skip Trip again on the Shogun, and
that should just be phenomenal.
Oh, it's so much fun fishing down the beach and just not knowing what you're going to come up to, and all those trips through the years, whether they were on the Q and now on the Shogun, and just you never know what's every day is going to bring, and having 6 days to fish and at different places and everywhere from Geronimo to Sac Reef, and I mean some of the most awesome places in all of Baja.
On down, Acme Rock, and I got to tell you, I marked 3 more spots. When we're fishing in there, it's like virgin territory to us because none of the fleet has spent that much time down there. And, it's a combination of yellowtail, calico bass, some small grouper, although we didn't have any on this last trip, but I know there's some good grouper spots there. And we just don't know that coast. We just don't fish it and it's just a real kick.
But that's the beauty of it.
You better believe it. I mean, we haven't even begun to touch the tip of the iceberg in that area.
Isn't that crazy?
So, but, this last 10-day trip we touched all bases. Okay, we started at Guadalupe, and I think we had 18 fish the first day. Sharks bothered us a little bit, but not much. And tackle failures bothered us much more than anything else. And the next day we hooked 110 fish and landed 39.
Whoa!
And since then, the guy that's really had some good fishing over there, well, it's 2 guys actually, and that's been Renee. He had fish up to 140. He's unloading tomorrow.
No kidding.
And he had excellent fishing. One day he had 10 over 100. And instead of that 55 to 70 pound fish, his fish were 70 to 90, 95 pounds.
No kidding.
And he had very good fishing. He had an average of 40 every day. I think one day he had 50 some. Gerby on the Royal Star also had very, very good fishing. And there's some wahoo showing up.
Okay.
So at Guadalupe.
It could get real interesting.
It's a kick. And the best part, it's in several spots. It's not, it's
spread out.
It looked like there for a while. It was just down, at the south end, but now it's in a lot of spots.
And not uncommon as we get later into the season for that place to bite better and better.
Absolutely. I still say November is the very best. November and December.
Really?
Oh, God, yes. December is, our Christmas trip for several years has been straight yellowfin at Guadalupe. So, yeah, fun fishing. And then from there we went to Aleos Rocks. Aleos was a disappointment. I thought we were going to get 35 or 40 wahoo. We had 15 in first hour and a half in the morning, and Aleos was just dead.
Oh, shoot.
Beautiful water, but no bird life, very little fish life. And from there we went to the 23, and there we had phenomenal fishing on, believe it or not, it was all 25 to 45 pound tuna. It was good fishing.
Wow.
I think that might be one of my most favorite places to fish in the whole world. We were actually talking about that earlier in the show, in that you can be anchored on a high spot down there and fly line a bait and catch a yellowtail, a tuna, a dorado,
grouper,
a wahoo. You could fish a yo-yo jig, a surface jig, you could catch everything that there is to catch on the Baja coast. You could do on one anchor job.
We had an 80-pound grouper on the fly line.
How cool is that, man?
I mean, it's real cool. I really, I believe in that. Hooking a skipjack in the back of the neck and fly lining him out. You clip the tail, of course, but just one lobe of the tail. And that's fun.
That's cool.
Like giant calico bass fishing.
You got it right.
Well, speaking of what's going on down in the Baja, we got the Cast Man standing by, and we're going to find out what's going on with that Baja report. We got Richard Castaneter from Cast Tours standing by.
And today, the Cast Report is sponsored by Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. And not only do they offer the best processing for your fish when you return from your trip, San Diego landings, now Fish Pros Market, you can purchase fresh fish, smoked, jerky fish, and their famous tuna burgers, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
At their convenient Liberty Station location, Fish Pros has also become famous for their smoked spices, rubs, salts, and as well as smoked cheese. Pick some up at their Liberty Station location or order online at fishmansprocessing.com.
Sounds good to me. We got the Cast Man standing by. Buenos dias, Cast Man.
Buenos dias, Ricky. Hey, I got some intel that Pete was seen there in Los Barriles heading over to the smokehouse to watch the game last night. But anyway, they should get some great fishing down there. I'm telling you, Fishing is just phenomenal. Lots and lots of tuna and good grade tuna, averaging 25 to 50, a few 100-pounders mixed in.
Wow.
So the East Cape boats, the San Jose del Cabo boats, and the La Paz boats are all getting into that tuna. And like I said, there's plenty to go around for everybody. Both, being taken on live bait, live sardinas, dead sardinas, chunk squid. It's really happening. Along with that, of course, in that same stretch, you're going to have the wahoo up there at that southeast end of Cerralvo Island there at Roca Montana. Good wahoo bite there going on. Same thing down in San Jose del Cabo. Those areas there south of Frailes, Iman Bank, San Luis Banks, Vinarama. Good wahoo bite now starting there. Look for that to even get better as we get toward the end of this month and November. And we should be hitting it right with our annual wahoo rumble there at San Jose del Cabo this coming November 2 to 6. Like I said, it should be some really good wahoo bite. Still a lot of billfish around, blues, blacks, stripers. Sales coming in too, pretty good numbers. So there's some really, really good fishing going on in that, like I said, that stretch from La Paz all the way down to Punta Gordo and San Jose del Cabo. Anyway, that's the report for this week, Ricky. Just to let people know, still got 1 or 2 spots left on our Pesca Panama trip, April 9 to 13. Also, we've got our Let's Talk Hookup Cast Tours Loretto Rumble, May 19 to 23. Got a few rooms left on that. So, and then we got our own, a lot of other destinations that we send people to. So give us a call at Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check us out on the web at www.casttours.com, and I'll talk to you boys next Saturday.
You got that right, Cass. Well, certainly some great opportunity. Can't wait for our Panama trip, April 9 through 13. And I'll tell you another one that I can't wait for that's very near and dear to every person that's sitting at this table is your and I's trip to El Salto here coming up real soon at Bill Chapman Sr.'s great lodge, and which I haven't been, and I've heard so many good things from both Frank and Kathy and Corey. I can't wait to check that out with you. And what a great lake and a great spot to go fishing, and I just can't wait for it, Cass.
Yeah,
I'm
Bill
jealous.
Chapman Sr. Bill Chapman Sr. spot's a great spot. Frank's actually turned us on to that spot there, so this will be our second year going back to there, and looking forward to it and pulling some of those big El Salto bass.
You and me both, buddy. Can't wait, Cass. Great report, very complete. Appreciate it. Glad to hear about all the big tuna, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Bye, boys. Take care.
Thanks, Cass.
Nothing but good times. I love those big Mexican mean bass, man. Hey, we're going to have more from Frank, more from Kathy. You want to give us a shout? 877-792-1090. 858-457-1090. We have a line open on each end. We have a free trip on the full-day trip on the Liberty out of Fisherman's Landing. Thanks to Frank. We'll be right back on Sport Fishing Voice of Southern California. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
If you're into saltwater fishing, listen to this. Saturday, November 3rd, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Hi, this is Doug Kern, and we are pulling out all the stops on this one with discounts from 20 to 60% on hundreds of items. Over 20 manufacturers' reps like Shimano, plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, a giant raffle, and most of all, incredible deals on tackle. Closeouts we've never offered before at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. Check out all the Shimano and Power Pro products we have and talk to the Shimano and Power Pro guys about the best Shimano rod and reel for your trip. Backed by popular demand, the Shimano Tranks Casting Contest. Cast a Shimano Tranks 500 and a Terramar 90H rod and show your surface iron casting skills. The winner gets a Tranks 500 worth $500. It's our biggest sale of the year with hundreds of items discounted up to 60%. Plus, plenty of manufacturers' incentives from Shimano and Power Pro to spice up the pot. We'll have a huge raffle and lots of fun for everyone, so don't miss it. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. Unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. Saturday, November 3rd. Check fishermanslanding.com.
Sport fishing, not just for Dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
This is Captain Mark Rayer for Genren Sport Fishing. Located on the Sea of Cortez, we will show you a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Genren boats are outfitted with all accurate reels from the smallest Valiant 300 to the beefy ATDs. Simrad electronics, Fraser gyro binoculars, and cruise with a passion to fish is just part of what makes us number one. Also, Cabo Yachts Vaquera has a Seakeeper for your comfort. For 2 live webcams, an up-to-date fish report, accommodation packages, check out TeamGenren.com. We pick up at Rancho Leonero and all East Cape locations. So let's go fishing.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. We're having a fun time in studio with Frank and Kathy, and nothing but good times, Rick.
You're not kidding, Frank. Well, great to hear. You know, you gave that the little synopsis of what certainly is a great trip, but I think that bodes well. You know, Corey and I at the beginning of the show were talking about how well things are lining up for our local season, but boy, it sounds like multi-day fishing guys have trips that's kind of on the for sure uptick as well.
The guys are having very, very good trips. You know, it's so amazing what timing does.
Right.
And you know, you could be one day off and you're not experiencing some of the best fishing. You know, but overall we had a great trip as far as I'll call it a good trip. I wouldn't call it a great trip. I wouldn't call it an excellent trip, but my expectations are pretty darn high.
I know they are.
All right. You know, we had 25 wahoo. We had grouper, and we touched all the bases. There wasn't anything that I would have done differently. Good. All right, and especially with Shimano, they did a fabulous job. The amount of gear they gave away to people was just impressive. John Cooch did a wonderful, wonderful job.
He's a great charter master, too. Such a friendly guy and very forthcoming, and you don't want a hand tying a knot or anything like that. John's a great representative.
He's a really good guy.
Yeah,
like you said, a great representative.
Yes, he is.
That's cool. Right. Well, the phones are packed. I know everybody's excited to talk to you and Kathy. Corey, why don't we jump into them?
They are absolutely jam-packed, Rick, and they do want to talk to Frank and Kathy. And let's talk to Mario. Mario is calling from Rancho Cucamonga. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, Mario.
Hey, guys. Great morning show. I'm loving it. A lot of good info. So I'm thinking about going on a 5 or 8 day next fall, and I know you guys have a lot of experience with Wahoo. I'm trying to just get all my tackle squared away right now, and get prepared. So for Wahoo, what do I need as far as a reel and a rod goes? How many yards of line? What kind of rod? What kind of reel? What am I looking at?
You go, Rick.
Well,
Nobody knows more about it than Rick.
I will definitely give my opinion for sure, but I'm anxious to hear Kathy's because I know that Kathy is a very accomplished Wahoo fisherman. I've known Kathy's long-range fishing since I was working at the tackle store for a long time ago. So I'm anxious to hear. I would say in general the setup is a comfortable length casting rod of usually between 6.5 and 8 feet, with a 7-footer probably being the most common, right, and a reel that's capable of fishing 40 to 60 pound with a fairly high retrieve rate, but not so high that you can't get any torque and power. So I would say that's a good general lineup. But, Kathy, I'm very curious. Do you have a favorite Wahoo setup or any good tips for an aspiring Wahoo angler?
I do. It depends on if you're on bait or jig.
Okay.
But let's go with the jig route. I go with the 7-foot CalStar 700M.
Okay.
I know a lot of people like a really stiff rod, and I think when that Wahoo shakes his head, he pops the jig right out. And if you have a more flexible tip, it gives and it keeps that jig in his mouth.
It's funny you mention that because I've always seen all the, quote-unquote Wahoo rods, and they're meat sticks, broomsticks.
Yeah, and I disagree with that theory completely. So my favorite is the CalStar 700M. And as you said, any reel that fishes, I like 40 pound on my jigs and 50 pound if I'm in a sharky area. 60 pound for me doesn't cast well, but that's just me. I'm smaller and I like a smaller reel, a smaller setup than. But and the gear ratio, I'll tell you, wahoo don't always like that screaming fast retrieve. And if you learn to mix it up, then you usually figure out what they're on that day. Just like any other fish on a bait, some days it's a slow retrieve, some days it's a fast. And personally, I can't crank on those 7-to-1 reels.
Yeah,
I can't turn the handle. I don't care if there's a sardine on it. I can't turn the handle.
You'll have to have the power once you got the fish attached.
Yeah, and if you can't keep that reel coming at you, once he bites it, then he's going to drop it. So you have to have something that you can turn.
That's so funny. I mean, leave it to a lady to open my eyes, right? I mean, all the guys think it takes the highest gear ratio, super fast winds, and meat sticks and no bend in the rod, and you're debunking it. And hey, you got to have some bend in the rod, which I believe in with everything. Have some bend in the rod, and it's not always a fast retrieve.
Go ahead. I don't always bend my rod. But when it shakes, that tip has to flex.
Yeah.
It can't just.
You have to have some give.
Yeah, you have to have some give.
I think you guys have all missed it all. I think that everything you said was perfect, except it's so frustrating as a skipper to watch. Wind. Just wind. Don't stop winding, and you're not. Chances are you aren't going to lose him very likely. I mean, and the mistake is made in just not keep turning the handle.
While they're hooked, you're saying? After you have them hooked.
After you have them hooked. That's where it's so much. And then the trolling fish are another one. Why do you have to pump the rod? You've got to. What is a marauder? A big marauder weigh? 2 pounds?
At least, yeah,
okay.
Sure.
And then you're dropping the rod, so every time 2 pounds is going the opposite direction, eventually it's going to just drop that hook right out of its mouth.
Yeah, think about if
you
had
just got to wind. And
I guess you could relate it, Frank. I'm sorry to talk over you, but it's like having the fish on the end of a gaff hook, right?
Well,
why would you pump the gaff? You just keep it coming.
That's exactly right. All right. So you just and I think I believe in using 50-pound when you can, simply because if there's a 60-pound tuna around, you're not holding the boat up for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay.
A lot of times people get concerned about purchasing their tackle and things like that. A lot of people that are new to long-range fishing more than likely have a good wahoo outfit because it's often very similar to a jig or to an outfit that you would fish your yellowtail with a yo-yo jig with.
Exactly.
So I would say, a lot of times people will come into the store like, I really want to go long-range fishing. I need to buy all this stuff. A lot of times you've already got the perfect wahoo quiver in your garage. Whatever you're yo-yo and yellowtail with, those attributes tend to make a very good wahoo jig rod.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
But with that being said, Rick, I mean, Mario could jump right in, come down and visit you personally, Rockcod Rick, at Fisherman's Landing, and just you could show him the right rods, and you're right, Mario probably has the right outfit.
Yeah. The other thing, Mario, if I would make one last suggestion, and not to toot our own horn, but it is the truth, it'd be a great time to come down, is on November the 3rd, we have tackle days at Fisherman's Landing. And the reason I would really recommend you coming specifically is twofold. One, it will be our best deal of the year as far as purchasing both rod and reel at a discounted price and a good opportunity to get a really good deal on the tackle. But also we have Captain Bill Cavanaugh of the Intrepid. He's going to be doing a seminar on wahoo fishing, kind of exactly what you're describing, wahoo techniques, both live bait and jig fishing. So you can catch a great long-range seminar given by a great long-range captain in the morning, and then hopefully you can slide on into the tackle store and get yourself a great deal on a rod and reel. So November the 3rd, I would highly recommend coming down to Tackle Days and checking it out.
And Rick, it's a free event.
Yeah, totally free. Come down, good food, good times, and catch a seminar and a lot of fun, Mario.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. That's great info.
Right on, buddy. Appreciate the phone call very much.
Well, that was a lot of good info from the man Frank and from his first mate Kathy. Thank you very much. Let's talk to Paul. Paul's calling from Bellflower. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup this morning.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Paul. Good morning. My question is to Frank. Frank, when did you start getting into the industry? How did that all come about?
I love this story. It's a good one.
Oh, God, when did I start? I started actually working on the boat for $3 a day when I was a kid at San Clemente Sport Fishing. And I actually started working on a boat called the Real Fun, which is still operating.
Awesome, yeah.
And right. And Norm Barbary was the skipper, and then eventually Sammy Cordero, and then eventually I worked with Don Hansen, who's still around. And that's where I started. And then eventually went to Newport Beach and started working with Spike Taft and Pete Peterson on the Frontier.
We had Don on the show. We did a live broadcast from the SAC office last weekend, kind of talking all things fishing. It was a really fun show. There's a lot of great representatives from Coast Guard, from Mexico, and it was just like a questions answered kind of day. How do I go fish the islands? And Don Hansen came down and hung out and was talking fishing and talking shop with us. It was a really good time.
That's a man that's done an awful lot for our industry.
For all of us, no doubt. All right, hey, appreciate the phone call, Paul, very much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. Hey, when we come back on Let's Talk Hookup, we're going to have more from Frank, more from Kathy. It's Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Mighty 1090. It's Let's Talk Hookup.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3/4-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3/4-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3/4-day, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. If you're into saltwater fishing, listen to this. Saturday, November 3rd, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Hi, this is Doug Kern, and we are pulling out all the stops on this one with discounts from 20 to 60% on hundreds of items. Over 20 manufacturers reps like Shimano, plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, a giant raffle, and most of all, incredible deals on tackle. Closeouts we've never offered before at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. Check out all the Shimano and Power Pro product we have and talk to the Shimano and Power Pro guys about the best Shimano rod and reel for your trip. Backed by popular demand, the Shimano Tranks Casting Contest. Cast a Shimano Tranks 500 and a Terramar 90H rod and show your surface iron casting skills. The winner gets a Tranks 500 worth $500. It's our biggest sale of the year with hundreds of items discounted up to 60%. Plus, plenty of manufacturers' incentives from Shimano and Power Pro to spice up the pot. We'll have a huge raffle and lots of fun for everyone, so don't miss it. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. Unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. Saturday, November 3rd. Check fishermanslanding.com.
For many of us, when we think of Seaguar fluorocarbon, we think premium quality. Well, it's with good reason. Sure, Seaguar invented fluorocarbon fishing line in 1971. But what's really remarkable is that they are the only fluorocarbon line manufacturer that makes their own fluoro resins. And the resins they make are formulated specifically for fishing line. Seaguar proprietary fluoro resins are the key ingredient that makes Seaguar fishing lines the best in the business. No one else has them because Seaguar invented them. Check out Seaguar.com for more.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader. The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Yamaha's Why Wait for Spring Fall Sales Event is back. For a limited time, purchase an eligible new 2.5 to 115 horsepower four-stroke and get 6 years of warranty protection plus up to $500 in dealer credit. New 150 to 300 horsepower four-strokes come with 6 full years of warranty protection. Visit your local Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends November 19th, 2018. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. 36-month limited warranty and 36-month Yamaha extended service contract. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 36-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.